ground and stayed on the ground based on the debris aftermath that we are assessing right now? Is it possible to say it went for a mile, it went for 2 miles, or just maybe 10 seconds on the ground and it has all of this damage? Are you able to let us know that, Greg?
I would say and this is very, very early. I would say for the one that was out near Burr Ridge, just the amount of time that we saw the debris ball on the radar, it was probably on the ground for at least 3 or 4 miles, at least. 3 or 4. 4 might be getting on the higher end of things, but at least on the ground for a period of time that was probably somewhere around 10 minutes, if not longer. It depends. Again, when they go out, they may see that it picked up for a minute or two and then drop back down again. So that's something that we leave to the National Weather Service when they go out there and actually look through. But this is, some very clear, heavy destruction, as that looks like roof was just lifted straight up off of the garage. And again, the RV unharmed, but the roof completely ripped off and the walls fallen in.
So we've been following stories nationally, Greg, about the intensity of this weather system that's been heading across the country all week. Has all of the flooding that we've been experiencing in the past 7 days, has this made the conditions for tonight just a perfect storm, if you will?
I think the moisture, for sure. The moisture for sure had a play in today, because the atmosphere was already charged back up again because of how humid it was due to all the rainfall, the inches of rain that we saw. So that was definitely a contributing factor. If it was just an ordinary day where we saw a line move through and there wasn't that much extra moisture, well, the dew points wouldn't have been as high and these thunderstorms wouldn't have the fuel to jump up, because honestly, we only got that brief time of clearing, an hour, 2 hours of clearing at the very most before those storms fired up along the line. So I would say it certainly was a circumstance that I not led directly to it, but helped out with the intensity of these storms.
So as we're looking at some of these pictures from Chopper 7 HD of the damage in Campton Hills, this was from about an hour and a half ago. I want to go to Cheryl Scott, who has also been monitoring these alerts for us all afternoon. I think the tornado alerts really first started coming in around 6 o'clock. Cheryl, can you kind of walk us back through what we have been following over the last 2 hours or so, and where the worst of those alerts were?
Yeah, it was really interesting. Around about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. noon, we were definitely honing in on the atmosphere beginning to rebound. We had the heavy rain and storms earlier in the day, but they moved out just in time to give the environment to basically refuel itself. And what happened is we had a frontal boundary and a warm front stall right across our region, and that led to so much spin in the low levels of the atmosphere. So around 10, 11 noon today, we started forecasting, knowing that we were going to have to shift gears from the last round that moved on through to the afternoon and evening, getting the updates in on social media, out in our newscast, that the tornado threat has increased dramatically across the region. And that's exactly what we ended up seeing, multiple tornado reports touching down. And it's all because we had so much spin in the low levels of the atmosphere. When we're showing you these videos of the tornadoes with that rainbow in the background, you're not seeing this extremely long rope-like tornado twisting down from the high sky. It's just a few hundred feet basically from the ground up to the low-level clouds, and they weren't strong supercell tornado storms up to about 40, 50, 60,000 feet. We had storm tops today at about 20, 25,000 feet, and all of the storms